Welcome, everyone, to another episode of Magnificent. I'm your host, Matt Sims, and with me are two interesting individuals. I have a hippie of a engineer kind of computer guy who is a really good friend of mine, and a country bumpkin with a mullet that has a beautiful, beautiful look to it. May I introduce BC Jake
Hey guys, how you doing?
and Mr. Aaron Lewis.
How's it going?
Gentlemen, thank you for coming, and happy St. Patty's Day to you.
Happy St. Patty's Day.
Yeah, happy St. Patty's Day. I'm excited to be here.
We already are ready to crack
that was
cold ones,
crispy.
and we are. Yep, that's right. We are drinking beer and recording a podcast. So we'll see how much of a train wreck that's going to be going on. So, but BC, how did you get the name BC? Explain to everybody what BC means.
BC is big country. I don't actually know where it came from. Matt gave it to me.
Oh, did I?
You did. We were over Anna's, and we went to get some firewood, and you wanted to carry more firewood than me. So
Was this the night that you chucked an apple at Linda?
this is 100% that night.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
No,
wasn't there.
Matt wasn't there. It
I
was
wasn't
not
there.
that night. It was not 100% that
No.
night.
Okay.
I wasn't there. No, this was the night that when we first met, you took me to a underground Fast and Furious car racing.
Yeah.
And let me tell you what, the people that I met,
The races are always fun.
I mean, all I saw were cops going back and forth and people being like, "Get in the car, Richie! The cops are coming!" and shit like that. So
You got to have the experience at least one time. I
yeah,
mean,
and I'm just saying, I'm like, oh God, I better not be arrested. But and I keep looking at him, and he goes, "We're good, we're good."
oh, we're good. I promise.
I'm like, all right,
He probably knows half the police force anyhow.
I know a lot of people.
but yeah. So I was just like, I really don't feel like getting arrested tonight. So I'm like, because it would be really bad for my grandma to be like Matthew Zane and have her come pick me up at the jail.
It'd be fine.
At the Genesee County Jail.
It's just township.
So, Aaron, how did we meet?
How did we meet?
Mhm.
Through Anna, of course. But
Right.
what-
Through cousin Anna. Cousin Anna, you want to say hello? No. Okay, she doesn't want to say hello.
She's shy.
She don't like hearing her voice on the podcast.
comes through very crisp.
I thought I sounded pretty good.
Yeah, dude, you were like, "Whoa, boner!"
There it is. Hey, that's Anna's dog boner.
So you were.
What was the first time that we met?
Oh, it was.
What?
Yeah, the Wings game. Yeah.
Was it the Wings game? I thought
yeah.
we met before that.
Oh no, that's wrong.
I think I met
no,
him at
it wasn't the Wings game. It was
when we
it was
camped.
Memorial Day.
when we went camping.
Yeah, it was Memorial Day.
And Matt
Yeah.
was feeling himself at the fire.
You want to tell that story?
No, I'll let you tell it.
No,
think
I
you
don't
do a
need to
better
tell that
job.
story. You tell it.
Yeah. So the first time I met Matt was we went camping with his cousin Anna, and we were drinking. What were we drinking, Matt?
Oh,
Red
my
Stag.
favorite,
Yeah.
Jim Beam Red Stag.
And he was feeling himself, getting into it, and he decided to start playing Native American tribal music. Yeah, while it's raining outside, and he just was like feeling
I
himself.
was feeling myself. My inner spirits were coming into me.
So you were sitting at this like bonfire by yourself,
By
just
himself,
listening to
yeah.
tribal
By
music?
myself.
You're listening to Native American
Aaron-
tribal music.
Aaron and Anna had both gone back to the tent, and I'm just vibing, drunk as shit
Yeah.
by the fire.
We finished off a whole fifth of Red Stag.
It was like
Awesome.
take one down, pass it around.
Yeah.
100 sips of Jim Beam Red Stag. So, but yeah, it was a good time. But yeah, I mean, I was vibing. I was feeling the spiritual native culture in me. So
You know, hopefully I can reach that level tonight.
I think you
no,
will.
I mean, now here's the thing. Everybody wants to be like, kiss me, I'm Irish. I'm actually Irish.
Do you
So
want a kiss?
I don't know.
We'll give you a good old smooch.
I just had to make sure.
I know I'm attractive.
Well,
But-
of course.
I'm gonna have to turn you down. Sorry.
All right, that's fine. Next time.
But I know I'm Irish on my grandmother's side. Aaron, are you any type of Irish? I mean, there's
I'm
only
not-
one Irish, but any
I'm
Irish,
not sure, honestly. I mean, I have a red beard, so you can only
right?
think that I'm somewhat Irish, but
Right.
I'm not quite sure. I don't have my 23andMe.
23andMe or what was it? Industrial or what? What the fuck is it called?
I don't remember the other one. I know the 23andMe.
Yeah,
Oh, and ancestral.com.
that's
or-
what it was.
yeah.
That I'm like ancestral. I mixed it up with the I
Yeah.
and called it industrial. It's like
Industrial.com.
yeah,
Sponsoring Ford.
Yeah, BC. What about you?
You know, I'm not really sure. Last I heard, I was like 6% Irish. That's about all I know.
6%.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't make up the numbers. I just read the paper, you know?
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. So you were so we're all in a group chat together,
Yes.
Of course.
which should be also named a podcast, to be honest with you.
Should.
Probably.
3 friends and a cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Who's the cousin?
well, it could be me or it could be Anna.
I mean,
So-
it could be me. Maybe I'm
So
your
for
cousin.
those that don't know, we're all in a group chat together, and it's myself, cousin Anna, and then these 2 idiots. And so
He's not referring to me.
so pretty much, we all send each other group texts. I mean, Jake over here, he sends us the fucking craziest shit
I think
Of
Jake's
his
are always the
workday.
best.
of his workday. And I get it why he's big country.
He is big country.
He is the construction worker. I mean, first off, what do you do?
Him and the
For
Flint crew.
for those that don't know what you do, what do
Uh,
you do?
I am a water line maintainer. I fix water mains.
Okay. And you're also a firefighter.
Yes, I do that part time as well.
So
What
you
was the I have a question. What was the worst fire you had a call for?
Probably would have to be out in Davison. There was a car dealership and it burnt
Which one?
front to back. I want to say it was Graff's secondary building.
Really?
Yep.
Like the used car lot?
Yeah, it burned front to back. Every car,
Damn.
all the building.
Oh, it was the detailing?
Over, like, next to Madden's.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yep, that was it.
I don't remember that happening. When did that happen?
It was recent. It was like last year. Yeah,
Huh.
just last summer or something.
wow. Do you know how it started?
I don't know. I don't do arson investigation. I
That's
just
the
put
police
the fire out,
side.
and that's as far as my duties go.
He goes woo woo woo, splash splash, and goes, all right,
Put the
Give me
wet
a
stuff
beer.
on the red stuff.
It's out.
when he puts it out, he just drinks it. And he just spits it out like a fountain, and then saves the rest of it to drink. But yeah, like we get these videos of him working in these dirty ass
Quote,
muddy
unquote,
trucks.
working.
Yeah, quote unquote working. Yeah,
Don't call me out.
and he's just like, yeah, I got in this truck and and
That was a
it's pretty
perfect-
accurate. It's pretty accurate. You just,
perfect.
I mean, you are like a pure guy.
Blue
that
collar.
Just, yeah, blue collar guy that when he gets into a truck and it just goes, you just go, oh yeah. I love that sound.
Oh, what happened with the one truck? Why did it tip over?
Oh yeah.
How the hell did that happen?
What was that all about?
So a car ran a red light, and I was going northbound. He ran a red light, T-boned this pickup truck in front of us. The truck rolled over, like did a full roll, and then landed on its side up against our fire hydrant. Knocked the hydrant off its barrel and everything. Water everywhere.
So did the water make the truck tip over, or
Nope, the car that T-boned him. It was just a
Oh.
little Impala, just a little car. Hit
Oh.
a full-size truck, and it just flipped it like it was nothing.
gosh?
Wow.
Well, while you were there, might as well fix the problem.
Right. I mean, made for a terrible Friday.
Oh man, it was a Friday.
Oh, it was a Friday.
Oh, God blessed.
Get that overtime though.
Oh yeah, every day.
How much overtime do you get a week?
Roughly 60 hours.
Oh my god.
Chasing paper.
That's
A
too
lot.
much.
You get 60 hours of overtime?
I live at work and I visit home.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. I
and
mean,
the go-to spot, the bar. What's the bar name again?
Shout out to RP's Bar.
RP's.
Flint, Michigan.
shout out RP's Bar.
Little hole in the wall.
Little hole in the wall bar.
Yeah.
That's my place.
What kind of music they play there?
Drinks are cheap though.
Jukebox, whatever you want to hear.
Love it. I love that kind of shit. There,
Load up
I-
touch tunes.
I went to this one bar in Port Huron. It's called Skidgy's, and Skidgy's. Yeah, it's interesting, but it's a very small kind of bar. I mean, they put ice in their urinals, and it's it's
Yummy.
fun. Yeah,
Don't eat the ice chips.
no, and but they have a jukebox, and that was fucking awesome to do because not many places have jukeboxes anymore. You know.
Yeah.
And everything was like cheap as shit. Like there was this giant ass beer, like a tall, right? It was like $5,
Oh, nice.
and it was gigantic. Gigantic.
That beats Nashville. When I went down to Nashville, it was $10 for a fucking Bud Light.
Oh my lord!
Wow.
A bottle or a
A
tall?
bottle.
For a
What
bottle.
I was
hell?
getting fucking bent over.
by a cowgirl.
I wish.
And Days of Dukes.
So you weren't bent over by a cowgirl? It was a cowboy?
No, but funny story. I was
that's always great when you're like bent over by a cowboy. Funny story.
side
that.
side note.
One time at band camp?
I was at
One time at the rodeo.
I forget. Jesus Christ. I forget what bar I was in, but we were up on the third floor. I went to go take a piss because we were just bar hopping, hitting up every bar. And I think it was like the fourth or fifth bar that we were at. But I'm in the bathroom taking a piss, and as soon as I finish and pull my pants up, 3 guys walk in there, and they're like, "Holy shit, it's Chris Stapleton!"
Just so everybody knows, Aaron does not look like Chris Stapleton.
Not at all.
Nope.
And they start taking out their phones and recording Snapchats with me, and they're like, "We just ran into fucking Chris Stapleton. Holy shit, we love your music, buddy." And I'm like, yeah. And I just go wash my hands and walk out. And
You should have just straight sang Tennessee whiskey right then and there.
Jesus. No, I don't
There's
sound anything like him.
Tennessee whiskey. And then they would have been like, "Yeah, he ain't no Chris Stapleton. This is a phony."
Big fat phony.
But yeah, I mean, you can definitely see these two guys and what they look like. Big Country is blonde and not having the full beard. He's just got that good-looking mustache right there, and Aaron's got the flat bill cap. But you can go see Aaron and BC Jake on the podcast social media at Magnificent Podcast on Instagram and Facebook, and every episode I'll be posting who I'm sitting with and chatting with. So just to let you all know. But anyway, so I was gonna do this in the beginning, but I figured,
Oops.
yeah, like I told you earlier, like, you know,
It's fine.
I mean, I misspelled my own podcast name last
It's
episode.
fine.
Like, I'm working on it. All right,
It's
I'm
a work in
working on
progress.
some shit. Yeah, but since it's St. Patty's Day, we are going to do a special edition of Dad Joke of the Episode. Okay, now if you want to laugh, you can laugh. If you want to cringe, cringe. I don't care. I like dad jokes, so suck it.
Let's hear what you got.
All right, what do you call a leprechaun who collects used cans, newspapers, and plastic bottles?
Homeless.
Damn. Aaron?
I have no idea, but I like homeless.
A wee cycler.
Jesus.
That was dumb.
But
I hate it. I hate all of it. I think
So
homeless was the better answer.
and that is the point. It's so stupid it makes you giggle.
Oh, it was funny. I laughed.
And that was dad joke of the episode. All right, so
Wow. Homeless people are the joke of the episode? That's horrible.
yeah. Well, this one was the special edition one for
St.
St. Patty's Day. I got a few, so
It's all right.
yeah,
Keep them going.
yeah. You get the special edition one.
That's what I'm in for.
So being a firefighter, how did you get started in doing that?
All right. This is actually an interesting story. I was a
Here we go.
good little church boy.
What
And-
church did you go to?
You a church boy?
Don't worry about that.
What church did you go to?
It was in Goodrich. I forgot the name of it. It was Family something.
Oh,
It's like Family of Christ or something. But anyway, I was at church camp, and one of the fire department sergeants was there, and he was talking to me. I was like 14 or 15, and he was like, "You ever thought about joining the fire department?" And I was like, "Sir, I'm 15. I ain't old enough." And he's like, "Oh, but we have this explorers program. You join up and you get to go on calls and stuff. It's
Where you
like being
guys
a real
exploring?"
firefighter." Oh, the world of fire, apparently.
Oh.
Sorry, I went away from the mic for a second there. But
Yeah, I had to turn up your audio. I'm like, good lord.
yeah, you can turn it back down. I was looking at Aaron.
Yeah. Just make sure the mic's in front of your face.
Oh no, is that how this works?
Yeah.
Oh, hey. So anyway, the sergeant there, he was like, "We have an explorers program. Come try that out. See if you want to be a fireman." So I tried it out. I went to the first couple meetings and I was like, "This is dumb. I'm going home." I left. I was like, "I'm not doing this." And he came to me a couple weeks later and he's like, "Hey, have you thought about it at all?" And I was like, "No, not really. I don't really want to do it." It was like, nah. And then like I went out on my first call as an explorer, not able to do anything, just going on the call. And it was a structure fire. This house is on fire. And I'm like, okay, maybe I do want to do this. Cause I was standing by the truck. Like I feel worthless. I'm not doing anything here.
Did you go splash some water on it?
No, I'm not allowed to.
No.
Wasn't allowed to do anything. I was just there to learn what they do. But after that I kind of just decided that that's what I want to do.
Okay.
And I followed through with it. And here we are 6 years later.
So,
Still doing
like,
it.
they say volunteer firefighter. Are you actually like you don't get any compensation whatsoever, or do you actually get like some sort of like money or
So we're
whatever
we're
for
what's
when
called
you're
a,
on like call or something?
yeah, we're called a paid on call volunteer. So
Okay.
basically it's voluntary,
Mm-hmm.
but if you do go and you show up, you get paid for it.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's
not.
not a lot of money.
That sounds
or
like the
anything.
best job in the world. Like if you want to come into work, you get paid.
Now, if it was a livable wage, yes, it would be worth it. But it's not about the money. You never do it for the
No,
money. So
yeah.
if you're
You
in
do
it
it
for the money, you're
for
in the
saving
wrong career.
lives.
I have a
and
lot of
protect-
respect for
So
firefighters.
what do you do it for then? Like what's your main motivation for going on call all the time?
Just kind of serving the community. You know, I like where I live, and it's a great area.
Don't let him fool you. He likes to turn on the lights and go really fast in his truck.
Yeah, he ain't lying about that either. I mean, it has perks. Okay, it does have perks.
I mean, and ladies love firemen. Can I get an amen, ladies? Yeah,
Oh,
Sue
there we
said
go.
amen. If you didn't hear that.
Amen.
Yeah,
Cousin Anna coming in.
yeah. Cousin Anna,
Clutching up.
she likes firemen,
I mean, you know what they say about firemen, right? We carry the biggest hose.
and you go down a pole
We know how to handle poles well.
and hoses, long hoses,
Long hoses.
like Tommy Lee's dick. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back to episode 1. You'll understand. So,
All right,
So-
I'm back. Wow.
so Aaron, what do you do?
Well, recently I just
He's a
switched
nerd.
jobs. Quiet.
He's a nerd.
He's a
I'm
nerd.
I'm helping to better our future.
Oh, look at you, nerd.
And how is that? Why is that?
So recently I was contracted with a job with Waymo, and if you guys don't know what Waymo is, it's a subsidiary of Google, and it deals with autonomous driving vehicles. And the nice thing about Waymo is that it was fully autonomous driving, meaning that there is no driver in the driver's seat when the car is driving on the road. And my job there was on the MPCI team, which is the miles per conflict issue, meaning that I got all the scenarios and the data from the vehicles that were in a somewhat conflicted issue, meaning that there was a cut in to the vehicle, there was a tailgater collision, there was something that we don't want to reproduce on the road.
Right.
So then my team gets the information, and with it we set up the scenario to have metrics, and in those metrics we run it through a simulation software. And with that simulation software, what we want to do is check the reproducibility of the scenario, meaning that we want to check whether or not the scenario reproduces the bad behavior, whether it be a tailgater collision, either the autonomous vehicle or the other vehicle on the road cuts into the vehicle and would potentially cause a collision. And then what we do is we check the reproducibility. And if it's not reproducible, we send it off to the software engineers to then, when the next software update rolls out, they add it to the software update to make sure that if it ever goes into the same scenario again, it doesn't reproduce that behavior. So that way it will know what to do if it comes into a conflict issue like that again.
So what got you into wanting to do that? I mean, because that was a lot. Like, you had to take a couple breaths there. Like, that seems like it was a lot.
Mostly, well, I graduated with a computer science degree. So
where'd you graduate from?
University of Michigan.
Oh, smart.
Hey, go blue.
Go blue.
Even though I'm wearing a state hat.
You are.
I was going to point that out.
hey, they're going on to the next round in March Madness. Okay?
They are.
So I'm pretty happy about that. And they're the only Michigan team in the March Madness this year. So I'm rooting them on until Marquette whips them.
I think they'll make Final Four. I honestly think MSU will make Final Four.
You're a moron.
I think they'll make it. I think they'll make it.
I love you, but you're a moron. You don't pay attention to sports. Well, but actually, that's a lie. You and I were talking about sports before everybody showed up.
I mostly pay attention to football. That's about it. Football and baseball. That's about it.
Do you do fantasy?
No, but I actually did win $85 on the Super Bowl this year. I bet on
good for you,
Travis Kelce getting a touchdown within the first half of the Super Bowl. I just put like a $10 bet on it, and I won 85 out of it. So I was like,
good
shit.
Stuff, good
okay,
stuff,
it's a good deal.
Yeah.
Now, do you listen to the other podcast that I'm on that I produce called Perch Points? Shout out to Perch Points, Robin Scott Percha.
I listened to one episode.
Listen to their couple episodes about sports betting. It's
okay.
Their knowledge about sports and just sports betting in general is fascinating to me. Like, I'm an amateur compared to these guys. Like,
I have to say probably the best way to bet is probably on sports, just because you have so much information on the players and everything.
Yeah.
You don't think so? No. Slots.
Country Justin, who is BC's buddy, who I just met today, he showed up. So glad you're here with us. He's our beer guy. So
well, anyhow, let me get back to what I was saying.
Yeah. So what were you saying?
But I was working for Waymo, but then I got recruited by Ford. So now I'm currently working at Ford. I'm contracted, but I'm going to be working on their ADAS team.
Okay.
So before it was ADV, which stands for Autonomous Driving Vehicle. Now it's ADAS, which is Ford's Blue Driver technology.
Gotcha.
Which is it stands for Advanced Driving Assisted Systems, meaning that anything along the lines of like advanced cruise control. So when you're on the highway, it doesn't depart the lane, and then you can go ahead and set it to go ahead and manage its way on the road. Or the parallel parking feature, where you can go ahead and set it to where it will the vehicle will parallel park for you.
Oh, because nobody parallel parks anymore. Like, I failed my parallel parking in my driver's test.
I did too.
But
I started it, and they're like, "You want to retry that, there, bud?" I was like, "Yep."
I tried about 4 different times, and I looked at my window, and my dad's just nervously got his hand in his face, like, "Oh my god, my son's gonna fail his driving test." And then I saw him talking to the driver. He may have paid her off. I don't know, but
oh my god,
I'm kidding. No, he wouldn't do that. He would let me fail it. I'm just kidding. I love my dad. But no, he so we got into the car, and she's like, "That's okay. Nobody parallel parks anyways." So everybody tries and finds a parking spot or parking lot. Especially if you're in downtown Detroit or
Yeah.
somewhere else. But there's not really any.
Yeah, especially
parking meters.
downtown Detroit. Everything's parallel parking there.
Almost, yeah. Or
Unless you get into like a parking structure.
parking
then it's-
structure, parking lot. I know there's a couple parking lots, but
But
yeah.
if you're parking on the main roads, you're parallel parking.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean that's awesome though. That'll parallel park for you. That's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
And I don't know. Do you guys know how the technology works
No.
at all? No. Oh well, there's a bunch of because like every vehicle now has a computer on it basically.
Okay.
So what happens is that they have like sonar, they have radar, they have lidar, which is ways that the vehicle can see other objects on the road. And
Built-in lie detector. LiDAR is a built-in lie detector.
Oh yeah.
I looked it up before I came.
Thank you.
Yeah, bring the mic towards your face. You
Is this close
enough to you?
That seems loud.
don't do that.
Okay.
It's so loud.
Smart ass.
Well, you tempted me. Don't tempt me with a good time.
Hey, all right.
But basically, with those instruments, you go ahead and make sure that the vehicle responds to road conditions as it gets the information,
okay.
and,
Interesting.
and the computer on board will then process that to make sure that it's making the correct decision.
So with that, would that mean like more, like I know with the computer chip and everything,
Mhm.
like would that have to do with anything that like allows it to do that kind of stuff?
What do you mean?
Well, like I know with the computer chip, like I remember in my 2007 Ford Taurus, like
Mm-hmm.
the computer pretty much just like
Those
was
were
failing and everything. But
yeah, those were very basic. Those basically controlled like timing of the engine, fuel injection, stuff along those lines. The newer vehicles have like a separate, I forget what the term is for that computer, but that deals with like engine components and like dummy lights. So that way, if something malfunctions on the engine, it'll set off the light.
Oh,
But the other computer system is what is used for the assisted driving technology.
oh, okay. So kind of like lane control.
Yeah, lane
Right.
control.
Yeah, because I have that in my my Escape right now, and it was new to me. Like it
It's-
was
it's
optional.
weird.
Like it was optional in
It's
my
weird.
2020 Escape, but now my 2022 Escape,
It's
like,
standard.
it's
Yeah.
it like is automatically on,
Yeah,
and
it's-
it like when I first started driving it fucked with me, and I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's the assisted driving, So I have to put a blinker on every time I
Yup.
want to change lanes.
Yup.
Like I can't just be like Ricky Bobby and be like, oh, first to last, So, but yeah, so that has to do with it, pretty much what
Yeah,
you do.
yeah. Well,
Okay.
it's so I believe the assisted driving vehicles, they don't have lidar, but they do have radar and sonar. So it detects in cameras on the vehicles.
Okay.
So it detects like based on the proximity of the radar or the sonar and other vehicles on the road, it'll detect that and navigate the vehicle on the road for it. That's why like a lot of people are like, oh well, Tesla's got autopilot. Tesla doesn't have autopilot.
Gotcha.
Tesla has assisted driving. They don't have autopilot because the system isn't fully like autonomous, unlike Waymo. Whereas Waymo, they actually map out the entire like city blocks and the highways and everything, and they get it down to a T, including instruction like construction areas and stuff like that. So that way the vehicle will know where and when to maneuver on those roads. It constantly updates. Whereas with assisted driving, it's more or less like a handicap. Like it helps the driver.
Gotcha. Well, we're gonna take a quick break, but we'll get back into that. And we're back. So what you were saying was pretty much what you were saying was like the assisted driving. We're all laughing because like I'm not like Joe Rogan to where like you can go 3 hours of just continuous talking.
Commercial
Like,
break.
Yeah, it's not even a commercial break. Like the transition that is played. I do transitions in between because I thought it's kind of cool. To have, instead of just you know record for 30 minutes and then not have like anything in between and then you automatically talk to compare it and then because I was like I would listen to it and I'm like, all right, I'm like, this sounds like really weird, but then to have something like a transition of music in between, because I'm a big fan of music, as you can see with my vinyls.
You need to get a better vinyl player.
It's not even that bad. I got it for Christmas last year. Not this past year, but last
you
year.
need to get like a really, really nice one.
It is a nice
'cause,
one.
I mean, it's okay, right? It's not bad for
I like
beginners, but you can get ones that hook up to like actual speakers. That you
I
can
don't
run
need that
speaker
right
wire-
now. I don't need that right now.
Not right now, but I'm saying in the future.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. Well, I mean, you never know, because as of right now, like in my 1-bedroom apartment, it's not that bad. I can just turn it up and
Gotta
I can
crank it.
Yeah. So
I need to crank it.
Do your
You gotta
neighbors
crank
like your music?
I see.
Have you ever talked to any of your neighbors?
Yeah. My downstairs neighbor I've talked to, the lady that lives next door to me. She's really cool. I don't see her much because she usually goes to work at like 4 a.m. and stuff like that. But other
Third shift?
Can I ring your door?
Or no?
and
first
I'm
shift.
I'm
Yeah.
on midnights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but the girl that lives below me, she's really cool. Like I met her when I kind of first moved in, and I see her dog from time to time, and she's really cool. I've hung out with her from time to time, but yeah, she's really cool.
Did she have a white little rat dog?
It's not a rat dog.
Why's it got to be white?
Because that's what like most women have, or white
No,
little
he's
rat
like-
dogs that got
No,
like
he's
brown
like-
crusties around their eyes, and they're like
I
near
mean-
death.
Okay, you're not lying. I do agree with you on that aspect.
No, he's a little small. He's a small dog, but he's a cute kind of scruffy little dog. His name's Gizmo. He's a cutie.
Oh, I like that
So
name.
yeah, he's a cutie. But yeah. So what got you into like all this technology stuff? Because like when people like first look at you, like it's kind of funny to like think that you're all about like this technology stuff and your
Wow.
knowledge.
Like, man, that guy does acid. He's a fucking stoner. Look at this guy. Little do they know he's a fucking nerd.
Yeah,
He lives in his mom's basement and shit. I'm just kidding.
I have a 2-bedroom apartment with a roommate. Thank you,
And a cat.
and a cat,
What's your cat's name?
Pepper.
Love it. Love it.
The lemon pepper steppers.
But I guess the reason why I got into technology is gaming. Like I
Okay.
really liked to game when I was younger. Play
Gotcha.
I think my first ever system was a Nintendo 64. And ever since then, I'm like, man, I really want to get into the field of technology that deals with stuff like this. I didn't go the game developer route, but I am involved in like I've coded in multiple languages, and currently working on autonomous driving and all that stuff. So it's really fun. I enjoy it. Plus, you get to work remote, so you can work from home, not have to go into the office.
That's pretty sweet.
See, that would be super nice.
Yeah,
I got to go into the office every day. Rain,
Yeah.
shine, sleet, snow.
Yeah, I know. Like, what is it? Like going to the factory and working and being an auto worker. Like we had like this big snowstorm coming in. It was like still got to come into work. Like there are
Did
no
you really
snow
have to
days.
go into work that day?
Mm-hmm. Sure did.
When you
Sure
got 10
did.
inches of snow, you guys had to
Yep.
go into work?
Yep.
Oh, God, that was awful.
I just put my slippery thing on my like, I don't know. It says slippery on it.
slippery.
Yeah, it's like the slippery setting where it's like 4-wheel drive probably.
This
There's normal, there's eco, there's sport, there's slippery, and then there's deep snow and sand.
Is it actually called slippery?
It's called
no way
slippery.
it's called
It's
slippery.
not
called
There's no way
slippery.
it's
No
called
car
slippery.
manufacturer said Slippery.
Yeah, no, I think
No,
Put that mode in.
it might be like rain.
it's literally slippery. So
It don't
yeah,
say slippery.
yeah.
I don't think
And
it does.
I mean, I did have to use the deep snow when I went to Gladwin to go ice fishing, and that was pretty interesting. But
Your
yeah,
car's 4-wheel drive
yeah,
or all-wheel drive, I should say.
all-wheel drive, and then it goes into which one's
Slippery.
yeah.
Oh, old slippery Willie over here.
I think we need like a picture of slippery mode because that's got to
Yeah.
be proof. I mean, that's not a thing.
I mean, after we are done with the podcast, I can show you guys. But
It does not say so.
I would
it
like to say
says
slippery.
I swear to God, it says slippery. It has a slippery setting.
Look up
BC's
what
looking
year
it
is
up
your
right now.
2022,
2022, yeah.
Ford
It was the
Escape
same way for
slippery.
the 2022. It was same for my 2020 Escape as well.
I had slippery mode.
Yeah, no shit. And that's for like rain and slick snow and stuff like
From FordServiceContent.com, drive mode slippery is a thing.
that. Yeah.
I don't know what engineer or software developer named that, but they are incorrect on the naming.
It is made for less than ideal road conditions such as snow or ice-covered roads. This mode lowers throttle response, adjusts transmission shift points, and optimizes vehicle stability controls to help mitigate wheel spin and maintain vehicle control when driving in winter conditions.
See, I will say with all the new technology on vehicles and like how they assist the driver, I miss the I had my first car was a 1994 Chevy S10.
Nice.
Had none of that. I had one airbag and it was for the driver. I miss that. I miss not having the assisted technology to make sure that the wheels don't spin. Like if I want to go ahead and floor that thing and spin it around, I could. Nowadays you can't do that.
You said it was a 1994 S10.
Yep, Chevy S10.
That has a small truck and
I loved it.
it
I
looks
loved
nice.
it. I
It
loved
looks
it.
nice.
It was black.
I'm looking it up right now. It looks really cool.
Yeah.
Did you have a backseat or was it a?
It was just
two-seater?
a single cab.
Nice.
I loved it.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now at the different photos, and it's an interesting looking kind of truck.
It was two-wheel drive, but I took it off roading. I got stuck.
Yeah, that's something that you don't want to go off roading because it's so small.
I was like, fuck it, send this bitch.
Put it in slippery mode. Let's go.
No slippery mode.
But it's a truck, and I'm sure you were like, I'm in a truck, I'm gonna go off roading.
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah. I was with my cousin. He went to the dunes. It's a local recreational area around us. And he's like, yeah, I got my 4x4 lifted up Jeep and everything. And I'm like, yeah, I'll follow you. No, I wasn't following him fucking anywhere. I was stuck.
He followed him to the trail, and that's where it stopped.
He went through a mud pit, and the mud pit came up to almost my windows on the truck. And yeah, that's where I got stuck. I was like, yeah, fuck it, full send this bitch. No, I had to roll my windows down and jump out of the truck and then fucking hook it up to get it out of there.
Oh, that's funny.
All because you didn't have a slippery mode setting.
Yep,
You could have tuned that,
I could have. The little 2.2 liter 4-banger on that
Yeah.
bitch.
I mean, put slippery mode on it, and you
Put
got
slippery.
4-wheel drive.
That's funny.
2-wheel drive truck with 4-wheel drive. You can't beat it.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But so to kind of change the subject on cars, because we've been talking about cars for a hot minute now. So
I'll talk about cars all day.
I
know.
like trains.
Do you?
No, I don't know. I was just saying some dumb shit.
Okay. I'm like, I mean, we could talk about trains if you want to.
No, I don't know shit about trains. They go choo choo. Oh, speaking of trains, I had a train come by me. I was at work the other day, right? And I drive a dump truck at work, a big triaxle dump and air horns and everything. And this train come by me, just blowing its horn, and I'm like, hey, I got one of those too. So I started blowing mine back, and the dude's like whipping his head around looking for me. I'm like, hey, waving and shit. He's like, hey. I'm like, that was the coolest thing. I've waited my whole life for that.
For those that don't know, BC is a reckless son of a bitch.
I don't know what that means.
How many people did you yell out the window on the way here?
3. I yelled at 3 people out the window on the way here.
What did you yell at them?
They
What'd you
can't
say?
park there.
They were all changing their tires.
They were all changing tires. They had flats. Just had to tell them.
You drove by 3 people who had fucking flats?
And they were all outside changing them.
But the fourth person was
Yeah, the 4th one was in the car still. It was too cold.
Oh.
Good lord. You're a hoot, you know that, BC?
I do have a good time here.
Raise of hands. How many of us here know how to change a flat?
1, 2, 3, 4.
You
BC, you don't know how to
I
change a
know
flat.
how to
You're-
change a flat.
I was gonna say your country ass doesn't know how to change a flat.
I ain't never heard of a spare tire.
Well, here's the crazy thing.
I get a flat. I drive home.
Just go.
It's a full send or a no send.
Jesus Christ.
If you ain't gonna send it, you ain't with me.
Dude, I saw this video. On Instagram, and there was this this white blonde chick that was just driving, and there was no tire, no tire whatsoever, and she's just like no tire, and it was just scraping the axle, the front
Jesus
axle,
Christ.
and like the rotor and everything like that. And this guy pulls up, and he's like, "What are you doing?" She goes, "I don't know."
That sounds about
It
right.
was like off. It was like
That
all.
sounds about right.
That's
It
how I
was,
get
like,
through
off
my
on the
day
side
every
and
day,
everything.
bro. What are you doing? I don't know.
I don't
my
know.
gosh.
I'm just here.
Oh man.
I
But-
can't say that about my job. If I say I don't know what I'm doing, it's like, oh well, car's gonna fucking crash into shit.
Realistically, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know.
Nah.
So, looking at like the 3 of us, we're an interesting group of how we're, friends with each other, like you got me that's like, I have my countryside a little bit, but I also like mix and match and stuff like that. Like I'm interested in different things, and then, you got Aaron that has his kind of thing going on.
What does that mean? My kind of thing. Please explain that more in depth.
Well, like you got your hair all long, and
What's wrong with that holdup?
Yeah,
nothing's wrong with it.
he's got a
Nothing-
mullet.
Nothing's wrong
There
with
ain't
it.
nothing wrong
Yeah,
with that either.
BC's got a
know.
mullet. But what I'm saying is like, like what was it? Like Anna was talking about how she straightens her hair. Now Anna's hair is naturally curly, like crazy curly. Like she can't wash her hair a lot because it'll be like a puffball.
She looks like one of those rat dogs.
Cornball.
But in where was it going? Oh, so she goes, I was at the gym and I'm just seeing everybody like in the group chat just, talk to each other, and she's like, I'm what was it that you said? Yeah, the alter ego. She said
Oh,
that
no.
there was an alter ego. She had her alter ego because she straightened her hair, and then BC is like, "Oh, same old me,"
Same old me.
It's always the same old me. I don't change.
So like what? So like what do you mean you won't change? Like what does that mean? Like what do you mean by that?
What do I got to change, bro? I go to work every day. I go home every night. I pet my dog. I punch the wife. I'm just kidding.
You should probably at least change your underwear.
Yeah.
Well, every other weekend.
Oh.
Do you have the skids?
Well, not today. Today was the other weekend, so I got to change them. So
Oh, good.
they're
Oh,
fresh
good.
tonight.
Oh, good.
Another 2 weeks
Ha-
coming.
have you ever
Oh,
had
God.
jock itch?
Who?
Jock
Jock
itch?
Is that like cock itch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
I don't believe you.
I don't know. What
Yeah.
you
Neither do I. I was talking about.
Wait,
I was
is that
talking
like
to Aaron.
herpes or something. What the
No,
fuck
No,
is
it's
a jock
not.
itch?
No, it's a fungal infection.
No, I don't have no fungus.
It's from like not changing
Your underwear.
Your underwear.
I do change my underwear. My sack is normal. There's no fungus.
So
Thank you guys.
So I mean,
But you've never had jock itch.
If that's a fungus, no. I ain't never had no
You
fungus.
never like
your balls
your
don't
balls
itch,
or
your
like
ass or anything.
I mean, your balls itch, but you ain't got no fungus. I mean, there's some gooch grease around maybe, but that's about it.
Mushrooms aren't growing out of his nuts.
No, not quite.
Oh my god.
He said mushrooms ain't growing out my nuts. Well, no shit. If they were, I wouldn't be here talking to y'all.
You be in the Guinness Book of World Records. Man grows mushrooms on his nuts.
Only if they're magic mushrooms, all right? I can't trip off them.
I
Don't
can't
grow
say-
on me.
I can't say I wouldn't try 'em.
BC, have you ever done mushrooms?
Have you done mushrooms?
Yes, I have.
How was that? How much did you take?
I did an eighth, 3.5 grams.
Oh, nice. So did you see visuals?
Mostly it was more like a shimmering effect. Like
Yeah.
lights were shimmering. It
Yeah.
wasn't necessarily like, oh my God, there's a dragon guarding the refrigerator.
No, yeah.
No,
but-
it was more like you see like a bunch of like rainbow colors and shimmering lights. And
yeah.
things move
But-
like a little bit to the left or right. It's
Yeah.
nothing crazy, but it is such a euphoric feeling.
It's
you're
I
you're
love
just
it.
happy the
I
whole
love
time.
it. I love it. When I took mushrooms, I was hanging out with my buddies, and all three of us decided to drop it. And then one of us was a trip sitter, luckily. When we dropped it, we were down in his basement, and we're like, "Oh yeah, let's we take it." We take it, and we take it on an empty stomach
Oh,
at like 10
first
in the,
mistake.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
at
your
10
first mistake.
10 in
I've
the
heard,
morning.
I've heard that's
second
bad.
mistake. 10 in the morning. It's the second mistake.
So for those that don't know about mushrooms, I haven't taken mushrooms, but I know people that do, of course.
No way.
Yeah, I've never taken mushrooms, and but I've heard that if you take it on an empty stomach, it does not go well for you
Oh, it's way more
because
intense.
because
Yeah.
when you take it on an empty stomach, it's pretty much food poisoning when you
Yeah.
eat mushrooms.
Well, I took it on an empty stomach, and we decided like, oh hey, we haven't ate anything today. Let's go run up to Taco Bell. We run up to Taco Bell, and you know how very colorful their menu is. I was in line to order, and I finally got up to the. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening here.
So Anna had these mics are pretty sensitive, and yeah,
Yeah.
Anna put down her can and yeah, so try not doing it, motherfucker.
All right, I'm done. I'm done.
Last one.
I just had to set it down for good.
Hand this to Country Justin
As he sets his can
as
down.
he sets his
His can
can down
down.
so gently.
Anyhow, to make a long story short, we go up to McDonald's. As we get back to my buddy's house to go chill in his basement, I'm high as a fucking kite. Like the trip lasted 15 minutes, and I'm already like, wow, look at these fucking bushes. These bushes look really fucking cool in front of your house.
Hey, hyenas, relax over there.
Meanwhile,
What's going on in the peanut gallery?
I know.
Yeah,
They are.
hold on.
They can't control
Hold
themselves.
on, hold on. Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. What?
He was talking about Taco Bell. He said McDonald's. We're like, where did McDonald's come from? I thought it was Taco Bell.
Oh, so what? Yeah. So was it Taco Bell or was it,
It was
McDonald's?
Taco Bell.
Were you that high?
I said Taco Bell.
You said McDonald's.
Did I not?
100% said
Were you
McDonald's.
that high?
Yeah.
So high. He didn't know what restaurant or fast food
Fast
place he was at.
food. One of those joints.
Oh,
Dude's at
that's
Red
awesome.
I'm
Lobster.
glad that they caught on to that.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I'm trying to listen to your story and we zone off. But
Anyhow,
That's
we
funny.
get back and we go down to his basement and chill. I can't eat the fucking food because the food looks disgusting.
right.
Like I'm straight up like,
was
ugh.
it like moving?
Yeah. And I was like, this thing's alive. I'm
So
not
you-
gonna eat this.
Oh my god. Was it mooing at you?
Yeah.
Close to it?
Close to it. So we're just chilling down there, and the visuals start kicking in really heavily, and I'm fucking like sitting there rubbing my leather coat, and I'm like, man, this is the softest fucking jacket I've ever fucking felt in my life. And then I look over at my buddy, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, man, there's something wrong with his face. And I like get like I get like almost nose to nose with him, and I'm like, there's something wrong with your face, man. And he looks at me, he's like, yeah, well, why are you so close to me? I'm like, I think your face is claymation right now. And he's like, go sit somewhere else. He's like, you're fucking with me.
He just straight up said, "Not here, not
Yeah,
right now."
he's like, don't kill my vibe, man.
Oh my gosh.
"My face is fine. It's not melting. Don't tell me that."
Yeah. And then the second like visual for me was like, you know how like all the 8th grade field trips are to Washington D.C. basically. Did you go to Washington D.C. on your 8th grade field trip?
No. On the what field trip?
8th grade.
8th grade field trip.
I did. I went.
No,
to
we
You went-
so
yeah, Kersley went to Washington D.C.
well for for an 8th grade field trip, the only field trip that I went on in 8th grade was to the Holocaust Museum. Yeah, you guys get to go to DC. I go to the Holocaust Museum.
Well, it's good to know history.
I
Oh
definitely.
no, it
visited
was the cool
Holocaust.
dude. It was the coolest fucking thing because not only was it like it showed you like about the Jewish, religion and everything like that, and then as you take the tour, everything's all bright. There's windows and everything, and then you go down and it starts getting darker and darker and darker, and that's pretty much showing about the Nazis, how they took control and everything like that, and then all of a sudden, no shit, there's a big ass picture of Adolf Hitler. There's Nazi flags all on the walls and everything like that, and yeah, it was crazy. Like it was kind of spooky because like it's just a big ass picture of Adolf Hitler just staring you down as you walk down this hallway, and they had like a it wasn't like an actual cattle car from when they were like when the Jews when they were transported from like the ghettos to the
Concentration camps.
yeah, they were transported in cattle cars, and so they had everybody that was on
Yeah.
the field trip get into these cattle cars, and they're like, imagine in the winter it's so cold.
Oh yeah, it's fucking freezing.
In the summer
cold.
it's so hot,
yeah.
and you're just shoulder to shoulder with everybody. Like they had to,
Yeah.
they defecated on themselves.
Oh
and,
yeah. Well,
around-
because like in order to transport you, it took like 8 to 10 hours anywhere that they were trying to transport.
not
them
even
to.
like days.
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 Oh.
Some people actually died, like the older the older Jewish people that were in those
Oh, yeah.
cars. They ended up, some of them died, or even like like just some people died in the cattle cars. But
Yeah.
it was something, man. But
Well, our 8th grade trip wasn't as dark as that.
well, it
Instead-
was mainly because we were reading this book called The Devil's Advocate, which is a really good
that's a
book.
really good book. Yeah.
It's a really good book, and so to understand about the Jewish culture and like the history behind World War II and just how ruthless and
Yeah.
ugly the Holocaust was, we went to the Holocaust Museum,
Yeah.
and I'm a huge history buff, so going there was fascinating and very educational.
Yeah.
So, but you guys went to Washington D.C. your 8th grade trip.
We went to Washington D.C. It was a really fun time.
Nice.
So for our class, we got in front of the I can't remember if it was the if it was the Capitol building or if it was the presidential what is it, the White House.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember what building we were put in front of, but basically we lined up like the entire 8th grade class and put it in front of there, and we took like an 8th grade field trip picture.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was on shrooms, I was looking at that picture.
Wait, you were on Oh, okay. For a second there, I was like, you were on shrooms in 8th grade.
No. No. But when I was on shrooms and I was looking at that picture, when I looked at it, there was like, normally there's like 5 rows of like kids like stacked up together to like take a picture and make sure that you're all in the picture in front of the building.
Right.
Well, instead, when I looked into it, it looked like the picture went into the wall and there was just rows upon rows upon rows upon rows of people looking back at me. And I was like, I really don't like this. I should stop looking at this. So I did, and I just went to go pet my coat. I was like, "Ah, this is good. This is soft. I'll go back to
I'm
this."
in my safe place.
Man.
Yeah,
Shrooms are a hell of a drug, man. He's fucking looking at these pictures like that. I had an experience like that. I live on 48 acres of woods. So the first time I ever did shrooms, we were out in the middle of the woods, just nowhere. And you ever watch like a cartoon movie with like gnomes in it or something? There's like a stool has 3 legs on it, and that's kind of like all over in these cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh, we were on shrooms, and we ended up like taking off running just as fast as we could through the woods. And I tripped over something, and it was the woods. It was a stick or a stump or something. But I turned around and I looked at what I tripped over, and it looked like one of those stools from the cartoons with the 3 legs on it. And I'm looking at that thing, and I'm like, what the fuck is that doing out here? I was like, I want that thing. And I went to pick it up, and it was just a regular stick. And I'm like, this is a lie. I was pissed. I wanted the stool.
Oh, that's funny. That's so funny. So, speaking of cartoons, but we're gonna go. Aaron, you showed me that you gotta take a pee break, so you gotta break that seal.
I gotta piss like a Russian
right.
racehorse.
We'll take a quick pee break. And we're back in La Deals. You like my little Irish impersonation?
That was
Um,
something.
Yep.
All right, cool. Gotta have fun with it on this podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
So we were talking about cartoons. So let's kind of spin off here. Like, what was your guys' childhood like? BC, we'll start with you.
Cartoon wise?
No, like, well, I mean, like, I thought about
Who
I thought,
asked that question?
So I thought about cartoons while you were taking the pee break, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I want to ask these guys about I want to get more in depth, because like I know you guys, but I don't know you guys. Like Aaron, you and I have been friends for what, a year,
2
years.
Yeah,
So like I know you, but I don't know you.
that's the mystery about it.
Yeah, and BC, like I still don't know what the fuck he's all about. So I figure why not go in a little depth with it. So BC, what was your what was your childhood like?
Growing up, I was in the woods all the time. I mean, I was never inside. It was outside all the time.
Right.
I mean, you go to school, you get home. My parents always made me do my homework before I could go hang out with friends. And I mean, I'd always bust my homework out because I had to live outside. I was outside 24/7. Aaron has my knife. I was outside 24/7, never went inside, always hanging out with a good group of friends, just the street friends,
Yeah.
Everybody's got that one street they grew up on, and they all got friends down that street.
Right.
And that's how my childhood was, and luckily enough, I'm still rocking with those same people today.
That's pretty sweet. The fact that, I mean, how old were you when you first met those friends?
The youngest that I met was a couple guys named Jordan and Matt.
Shout out to Jordan and Matt.
Yeah, shout out Jordan and Matt. We were probably about 7 years old when I met them. I was just outside playing in my yard, and they were outside playing in theirs, and we just mingled and became friends like that, and been friends ever since.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So you were mainly out in the woods and, doing it what kids do out in the woods and everything.
Yeah,
So,
hanging out. I had 4-wheelers, we played paintball and
What do kids do out in the woods?
stick guns, stick fights,
Oh,
build
man.
tree
I remember
houses. I
stick
mean,
guns, man. Like if it looked like a gun, you were pretending
it was a gun
Yeah.
for sure.
The imagination of a child is so fascinating to me. And then as soon as you like go through puberty and you grow up, like that imagination, like I kind of worry about where, like with having kids, like if that imagination will ever come back.
I feel like most people live vicariously through their children when they have kids. So of course, like those type of things, like childhood imagination comes back when you have kids because you have to in order to
have
parent.
Parent and have kids. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know, like the imagination of a child just fascinates the hell out of me. Because I mean, I remember I told my dad to paint my jungle gym this dark brown because I was a fan like no other with Pirates of the Caribbean, and I would turn our swing set into a pirate ship. And it was the coolest thing. Like I pretended like I was like pretty much what's the word? Like I pretended so much that I was like a pirate, and like just the imagination that I had was so cool.
Yes.
Like I look back and I'm like, where is that creativity and where's that,
The
that
spark.
the spark and that childhood joy, So, but BC, back to your back to what you were saying. So, you mainly spent time in the woods. That's it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I had Lyme's disease by the time I was in 6th grade because
Did you
ticks,
actually have Lyme's disease?
I still do.
What?
Wow.
How? I thought you can get rid
What's
of
that like?
You can't get rid of it. It's terminal, but it is dormant, so it will go away for a while.
What does that mean? Like, how does that work?
Realistically, it just attacks all the weakest systems in your body. Mine being my joints. It attacked my knee joints and my hip joints, and it just severely affects your ability to move. And it's just,
That's interesting.
I mean, it's dormant, so like I don't notice it any now. Or
How
like
does it
right now,
flare up? Is it like,
it's just completely random. I mean, it'll flare up sometimes, and I'll be sick for a week and like
huh?
dying like it's the flu.
That's interesting.
It's super weird. I never knew anything about it until I contracted it, and
Yeah, you get it from deer ticks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's why you got to wear a lot of bug repellent
Well,
when you go out in the woods.
I was in the woods every day.
Yeah, but
8 to 10
when you're a
hours,
kid,
I mean,
you're like,
Yeah,
fuck
who
it.
cares,
Yeah.
right? It's not a big deal.
Right.
And honestly, it being so dormant, it's not a big deal now. But it's just something that's like
Wait until
I
you're-
could have prevented that.
Wait
Like,
until your 50s hit.
yeah,
and you're
then
like,
it's
"Oh,
gonna
fuck."
affect me. But
Right.
right now, it's no big deal at all.
Well, that's good that you're in better health than when you were as a kid and everything.
Absolutely.
But like, so were you like bedridden at all, or?
No, I was on weekly infusions. I had to get an injection in my arm once a week. It was like something to do with keeping my stomach flares down.
Yeah.
So, because at that point I had an inflared liver and appendix, so I couldn't play football, and that was the main source behind figuring out that I had it. Was for some reason I couldn't practice at football. It would hurt me. I'd get sick. I mean,
Did you play any sports in like middle school or high school? What'd
yeah,
you
I
play?
played football and hockey.
Football. Oh God. Those
Yeah,
are
you
very
look like a
intense.
hockey player.
He does.
I like hockey, but
Who do you think's gonna win the Stanley Cup?
I
At the
don't even
Red
have a
Wings.
clue, man. I haven't followed this season at all. Been to a
No,
couple of the
the
Wings
Boston.
games, but that's about it.
I'm telling you,
Alright.
Boston's probably gonna win. They're.
Yeah,
I think.
I see
think
it.
Boston's gonna win.
I see it. So Aaron, what about you? What was your childhood like?
Let's see here. Well, my mom passed away when I was young.
Sorry to hear about that.
And after that, I went to go live with my grandparents. And on my grandparents' street, there was my childhood friends. There was Chris, Jake, Tyler, Joe, Phil. I knew them all from school and everything. And of course, back in the day, Xbox Live. Gotta love Xbox Live group chats.
Absolute best.
Oh my God.
Could not
The
go
things
wrong.
the things I said on there, I should be like blacklisted by the government.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I think anybody that was in an Xbox party
At
is probably
14,
yeah, it was
13,
bad.
14, 15, it was bad. Anyhow, yeah, I grew up with them, and then of course down the road from us was the elementary school, so we'd always just go up there, goof around. Then when we got a little bit older and we're like, hey, can we have some money? We go up to the local supermarket, which was Denny's. You remember Denny's, Jake?
Of course, I remember
Yeah,
Denny's.
and then it burnt down.
I drove by it the morning it burnt down.
I was at my bus stop when it burnt down. I could feel the heat off of it across the road from us. I was like, damn, that is hot.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a gym on the corner there by where Denny's was.
Yeah, that gym.
I don't know what the building was at the time, but we parked there and watched it for a little bit.
It used to be an old pharmacy.
Yeah, we stopped there and just watched it burn for a little bit because I don't know. I like fire.
I probably saw you then. I didn't even know.
Yeah, probably. Honestly,
I was just sitting there. There was cop cars and
yeah,
you know,
fire
firefighters,
trucks and ambulances. I was like, oh,
yeah. I 100% I believe that it was burnt down for insurance reasons.
I can't give an opinion on that, but
you don't think it was a oil fire or anything like that? Because I mean, Denny's, you know, you think like breakfast.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't a restaurant.
It wasn't a
restaurant.
It was like a Kroger's, but it was like it's a locally owned like mom and pop shop. They have one out in Otisville.
Gotcha.
Denny's supermarket. That's what they call it.
Okay.
Expired bacon.
Yeah, because when you said
because
when you said Denny's, I automatically thought of the restaurant.
No, it was just like a local supermarket or whatever you want to call it.
Shoot, I'll take a Denny's on the corner. That's right down the road from my house.
Right. But it was great because we'd always go up there and it was like right across the road from us. So we just go up there and like take like a bunch of bottles back that our parents gave us or like a couple bucks or whatever. We get all the expired fucking what's the Debbie, little Debbie. We get all the little Debbie like pies and everything, and they're expired.
Cakes.
And Jones's
the Jones's soda. Yeah.
And we go up to Dowdle and we just go ahead and fuck around up there for hours.
Dowdle was a school near us. It's a local. Just they had a big playground out back.
Yeah.
Cool place to hang out when you're a kid.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
What about you, Matt? What did you do?
I mean, really, just I think I really just hung out with the neighborhood kids. You know, I grew up in a suburb, and the high school was probably like, I don't know, not even 5 minutes away. It was like 2 minutes away from my house, driving wise. And yeah, I mean, playing kickball and football and basketball with the neighborhood kids, and it'd be like, all right, we're at the Sims's house, or we're at the Van Acker's house or whatever. So
I gotta say real quick, my house was like the hangout spot because
mine was too.
My grandmother, she knew how to cook, and all my friends would come over and stay the night and whatnot because we're kids and we're playing Xbox or fucking playing tag or whatever out in the backyard. And all my friends would come stay, like 4 or 5 of my friends, and my grandmother would cook like a fucking spread in the morning. She cooked biscuits and gravy, hash browns, fucking bacon, sausage. Ooh. We wake up in the morning smelling that shit, man. Best thing ever.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we had neighbors that were brothers. The oldest was my age, and the youngest was my youngest brother, JT's age. And we would always hang out with them. And it was the 3 Sims boys with the Van Acker boys. And then, of course, other neighbors that lived in the neighborhood. But majority of it was the Sims boys and the Van Acker boys. And the Van Acker boys would always come over. And just as soon as they walk in through the door, like they didn't even knock. They just walked right in.
Oh, yeah. Same here with all my friends.
So
they
would
walk
walk,
right in.
but it was just so funny because they would always walk right in and go straight for the pantry.
Yeah.
And get snacks and shit like
here.
that. My dad had to make a comment to them, and he's like, "Do your parents not feed you?"
Yeah.
And one of the kids, he I forget who it was, but I think it was the youngest. He's like, yeah, she feeds us. My mom feeds us. But we just come here and we know you got good snacks. My dad goes, all right, well, you got to pay me for that shit. And he's like, seriously?
Yeah.
And so, but yeah, man, I mean, and then we had my cousins who weren't my cousins at the time, but my cousins were like, let's see, the oldest was my brother Zach's age, and then the youngest was my brother JT's age. So, and then they had 2 more. And but yeah, I mean, we would always jump the fence and all that stuff, and then we ended up getting a pool, like a really big, nice pool, and so everybody would come over our house and swim and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, my childhood was mainly based around like kids and just having fun with the neighborhood kids and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
like that. And then if we were inside, I wasn't really big into video games, but like the computer games, like backyard baseball, backyard basketball,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
football and all that stuff. And we played those, and then we had an air hockey table down in the basement and
Yeah.
everything like that. So I mean, we lived. I look at my childhood, and I'm very thankful for the childhood that I had, and because it was a very good childhood, and even when my parents got divorced, it was tough and stuff like that. But other than that, growing up, I can definitely say that I had a blessed childhood for sure.
Yeah.
So, but
It's always fun. And then you get into high school and then you start smoking weed with your friends.
I mean, not me.
Well, I did.
Well, so did I.
Yeah. I'll tell you a good story. So I lived down in the basement of my house. But at the time I didn't have because I like moved in with my grandparents. I didn't have like a
Right.
door to my room, but they had a door to my brother's room. So all my friends would come hang out with me. We'd all be fucking smoking pot downstairs and whatnot. One time I was like, here, let me go clean the bong out real quick. And there's like, in every basement, there's like a washer dryer room with like that little fucking
with
the tub sink down there.
Yep.
So I went in there to go ahead and clean out the bong. And as I'm walking out, I opened the door right after I cleaned the bong, and my grandfather's coming down the stairs, and I'm like, oh fuck, I have a bong in my hands and I'm high as fuck. My grandfather, he looks at me, he's just like, my grandmother wasn't there because she would fucking know, but my grandfather, he came down there and he looked at me, he's like, what's that? I'm like, a vase. It wasn't a fucking vase, it was a bong. But
sorry about that. If you hear the jingle, my cat just jumped onto the table. So hold on one second. Can somebody take her off, please?
Without her biting you.
There you go. Just grab her right under the tummy and then pick her up. Oh boy.
But all my friends are in my room, and I go ahead and start walking in my room. They're like, yeah, the bong's clean, we can smoke some more fucking weed. There was like 6 of my friends in there,
Right.
and behind me is my grandfather, but they don't see him yet until he turns around the corner into my room. And he turns into the corner, and their faces go from like, oh shit, yeah, we can smoke some more weed, to, oh fuck, there's his grandfather. And like, little hindsight to my grandfather, he's a big old grizzly bear of a man. He's like
very intimidating.
6'5", very intimidating.
Ooh.
Served in Vietnam.
Wow.
He comes in behind me, and they're like, oh, we're fucked. We are 100% fucked. He comes in, he's just like, so you guys are smoking the pot. And we're like,
pot?
Yeah. And all my friends are silent. All my friends are silent. And I'm like, yeah, we're smoking the pot. And he's like, he looks at all of us, stares us all down, real quiet for like 20-30 seconds. He goes, don't let your grandmother find out, and walks back upstairs.
What a savage.
And I'm like, oh fuck.
You got it. Ooh, you got it. That's awesome.
Man,
That's awesome.
I got a story for you. The first time I ever got caught smoking pot, I had my 4-wheeler out, because we all had 4-wheelers and stuff. We'd ride around the woods, and that's just how we lived our lives,
Right.
And so I was like, man, I made a bong out of a milk jug and a pen top and everything else I needed to smoke weed out of it, whatever.
Tinfoil.
Yeah, just a basic beginner first time bong.
You can't go out and buy anything because you're fucking
The
15.
poor man's bong.
Yeah, and in the middle of the woods, smoked out of this thing. I'm high. I'm like, okay, I got cotton mouth. I need a drink. So I rode my 4-wheeler back to my house. I go in the garage. I'm in the garage fridge looking through the drinks. There's Capri Suns and stuff. I'm like, this is sweet. I'm like living the life, having the best time ever. Like, I want a Capri Sun. I want a juicy juice. I'm taking all this. Well, my dad opens the door. I got like an armful of juice boxes. My dad opens the door. Didn't say a word to me. And I'm like yelling. I had my helmet on and I was high as balls. And I just
Like
couldn't
a bike
hear.
helmet? Or
No, I had a 4-wheeler helmet.
Yeah.
4-wheeler helmet. Okay, gotcha.
ATV helmet.
Now,
Gotcha.
I was high. He didn't say a word to me, but I was like, "What?" And he's just looking at me. I was like, "What did you say?" And he's not saying a word. Like, he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Huh? I can't hear you." And he's just looking at me. He's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Oh, fuck. I got to get out of here, bro." I went to the 4-wheeler. Man, I got on this 4-wheeler, and my dad's like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "I got to go." And I just took off. And that was the first time I ever got caught. I come home later, and he's like, "What were you doing?" I was like, grabbing some juice boxes. He's like, "Is that all you were doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, that was it." He goes, "Okay, so your eyes were just watering or something?" And I was like, no, they were fine. I'm perfectly good." And he goes, "You were high." And I was like, "No."
The basic response for every kid who gets
You're
caught.
wrong.
No.
Of course not. I'm
He's
not
like-
high.
He's like, "Don't let me catch you doing that shit." And I was like, "Oh, you're mad." Okay. Well, I didn't know he was mad because he was just talking to me just like nonchalant, like,
yeah.
"Hey, buddy." And I was like, "Oh, he's pissed." I was like, once my mom hears about this, I'm fucked. Man, I got grounded for like 3 weeks, and I was like,
Fuck that.
it got out of grounding. It was like getting out of jail, man. I went and fucking grabbed some more weed and smoked down again.
I don't blame you there.
Oh my god. Well, you were talking about the washer thing.
Yeah.
So that tub sink that's next to the washer and
Yeah.
dryer.
Every basement's got it.
Yeah.
Every basement's
So-
got it.
I got a funny story for you. So back when I lived at my house that I grew up in. Nice. That was great.
crisp.
That was great. So we would play down in the basement and everything like that, and I wouldn't want to run upstairs and take a piss, so I would just
No.
oh yeah.
No.
I
You
would
did not pee in the sink.
dude, I would drop my drawers and fucking just go to town in that sink.
Now listen, hold on. I had a gaming setup in the basement. The sink was not my option. Don't get no ideas.
No, I know where you fucking piss.
Nah, I piss in the sump pump.
Yeah, I know you
Oh,
fucking
I've done
were
that
gonna
too.
piss.
I
That's
did
just
that too.
Directly
what
out of the
the-
house.
I
Get
would-
it out of here.
I
It's
would-
like flushing the toilet.
You guys are fucking savages.
I would
You
aim
ain't
Go
never
upstairs
pissed in the
and go
sump pump?
piss. No, I didn't piss in the
Okay.
sump pump.
Picture
Dude,
this.
dude-
Gaming setup, 4 feet to the right, sump pump. 50 yards away, bathroom. Guess where I'm going?
Sweet. It was not 50 fucking.
dude.
yards
Yeah,
away.
you're
If I
probably
had
right.
if I had
Might
people
have
over,
been an
I would go
exaggeration.
in that corner and aim at the spider webs. I'm like, these don't need to be
Jesus
there.
Christ. He's the exterminator of the fucking
Who
house.
said you can be here? Somebody's got to do
Urine,
something.
But yeah, and what was so funny was my parents didn't catch me, but they were like, "Why is the tub smelling piss?"
I don't
I'm
know.
like-
The water's kind of funky down here.
They're like, of course, with having 3 boys, they interrogate you
Oh,
bit by
fucking
bit by
hell.
bit. Nobody sold me out, at least I don't think. But it came to me, and I'm a terrible liar.
He's like, yeah, I pissed in the sink.
No, it wasn't even that. I just tried to lie through my teeth, and they caught me instantly. They're like, "Why are you pissing in the fucking sink? Why?" I'm like, "Cause I don't want to go upstairs and pee in the bathroom." They're like, "That's what the bathroom is for." So yeah, so that was my pissing in the tub story. But we're gonna close out this podcast, gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming on. It was so much fun,
Hell yeah.
to hang with y'all and drink some beers and just shoot the shit on this St. Patty's Day. So I mean, it's a blast. So I mean, we'll have to do this again because I can definitely say this is
Yeah.
very entertaining, and
Very
I can't wait to hear from everybody that listens in. So
more piss in the sun pump stories coming up.
next,
Next
Shrooms in the woods, baby.
shrooms in the woods, pissing in the sub
and
pump.
maybe even more other stories besides pissing in the sump pump and smoking weed. But gentlemen, thank you so much. I very much appreciate you guys doing this. I mean, you guys were like, "Hey, let's get on." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck it, they're entertaining as hell just to talk with, so might as well get them on here." So
It was a great time, and I appreciate you having me here. Honestly, I had a lot of fun. Happy St. Patrick's Day, everybody. It was a great time.
St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.